And for more analysis on this, we are joined by Fadel Abdul Ghany. He's the founder of Syrian Network for Human Rights, and he joins me now live from here in Istanbul. Good to have you here with us on TRT World. About 2 years ago, around this time, I was in Idlib myself covering this humanitarian disaster. I remember speaking to locals of Idlib, and they would tell me that this UN-mandated aid is their lifeline. This is all they have when it comes to food and water supplies. Now that it has expired, what do you think future holds for the region?
I think I agree with you. This Russia veto in the Security Council has one explanation, which is death. This death is for tenth of thousands of Syrians due to starvation. We are talking, according to OCHA, approximately 4.5 million Syrians in northwest Syria, about 80% from them who is dependent for years on the UN aid. For sure, the 6th February earthquake exaggerated this suffering and need. I hope that the Security General of the UN Security General will move toward more action than just condemnation. This action should be at the level of OCHA legal office. I disagree with some journalists and reporters. Russia doesn't have the rights to veto the issue of humanitarian aid. This movement can be taken at the UN level. And this is the answer of your question, sir, that there is actually a solid legal background from jurist expert in international law that entering aid, which is a neutral aid, this is the first reason. The second one is that Turkey and the other side, which is the opposition, are agreed to pass this aid. The third one is the necessity, which I talk about. For those three reasons, the entering aid no need a permit from the UN Security Council. That's why the Russia blackmail can be eliminated, actually. This movement can be taken by OCHA legal office, and the UN General Secretary can do more action than condemnation. There is actually for just quickly, we need to bear in our mind and remind ourselves that the Syrian regime and the Russia who is blocking the aid, the main perpetrator of displacing those 4.5 million Syrian, and the regime, and what does the Russia actually aim? Russia want to shift those aids to be entered via regime, not the cross-border. But the regime has long history for 10 years of stealing the UN aid, and which is proven by the UN and by a lot of institutions. So for all of those reasons, we believe Syrian Network for Human Rights that using this veto is arbitrary, and this must be changed.
Right. What's the alternative here? Because as I understand, Bab al-Hawa is the only supply route from Türkiye into war-torn Idlib. And Idlib is home to some millions of people, including women and children. So if Bab al-Hawa is closed, is there any other way to bring humanitarian aid into Idlib or not?
There is actually the international organization, not the UN, and the aid organization, the local organizations such as Turkish organization, European, like USAID and others, they can enter. But those are not sufficient because the vast majorities of donation move to the UN humanitarian aid. The state must shift some of their donation toward those local Syrian organizations and other also local organizations such as Turkish organization, US and others. Those are allowed to enter, and those are the blocking only at targeting the UN, which is, as I mentioned, getting the vast majorities of donation. This donation for years should be shifted because we need to eliminate the blackmailing from Russia. There is work toward that. There is a platform establishment going on, especially after the earthquake, and Russia still blackmailing this. And this is the negotiation actually. If Russia continue this blocking, they accelerate the movement toward this platform and shifting the UN fund toward local organization, which we totally support, and that will avoid us this blackmailing for the long term I'm talking about.
All right, Fadel Abdul Ghany, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.